NBC said something much the same. Well, this journalist said excellence and blah, 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 blah. But they just make it all up. So there was a story by Jacob Applebaum at CCO3 last year during Christmas, where he talks about the ant catalog from the NSA of all the various evil devices the NSA has. And one of them listens in on people with a continuous wave device. They send out waves, and they get back the response, and from that they can extract the audio. And he went off on this whole thing about, it causes cancer because it's like at 1 kilowatt. And, for example, Hugo Chavez died due to cancer. Maybe that was caused by an evil NSA device. And so that was picked up in the news, and they all reported upon this, saying, hey, yeah, Hugo Chavez may have been killed by the NSA via 1 kilowatt continuous wave generators. And so I talked to him on Twitter saying, that's actually kind of meaningless because it's only in the 1 to 2 gigahertz region, which doesn't cause cancer. Yeah, it might burn you because it's at 1 kilowatt, but it's not going to cause cancer. And so I asked him, why don't you actually talk to people like at DEF CON? Because for everything in the ant catalog,
hey Rob, is your presentation causing cancer right now?
So for everything in the ant catalog, for every evil thing the NSA does, there's an expert here at DEF CON who's presented on it, or can present on it. And so for his response was typical, like blah, 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 blah. I must have missed it. No one's actually presented on this local thing. And that was actually kind of cool because last year at DEF CON, they had the short story contest. And so I'd written a short story where that was actually the plot device. So I actually hadn't presented on it, but I'd written a short story by a guy who presented on it, and it all works, and it's all pretty cool. And so this year at DEF CON, Michael Osman, who is really...
Wait, doesn't this just prove then that you work for the NSA?
Yes, I work for the NSA.
You heard it here first, folks.
I get all these claims of an NSA lover, but, I hack the NSA. So Michael Osman is doing, and he's the expert. I'm not the expert, but he's the expert on such things. He's presenting actually on using what you see in the picture here is a Hasbro for the little race car things, the little cars you send around on tracks and stuff. They use a radar gun to measure the speed, and it's actually the same sort of radar gun you get that police use to catch you on the road. And it's great because it produces a constant wave radar signal that then his SRP his hacked RF1 then, can be used to then pull back stuff and pull back audio and stuff. And so that's an example of, for everything that the NSA does, instead of quoting some activist out there who may know some things about cybersecurity, there's actually 1,000 people here who have probably demoed that at DEF CON.
What? Look at my people. Wear fucking shoes.
So the worst example of this is Bruce Schneier. And he's a smart guy. He's really creative. He has really insightful things to say. And he knows a lot about cryptography. But the press treats him as this holy prophet of cybersecurity.
It's like gorilla feet.
He will just write on his blog post I wonder what I'm having for lunch today. And then the stories come out quoting him saying Bruce Schneier, expert in cybersecurity, confirms the NSA kills puppies. And it's just the most bizarre thing. It's because, and I've talked to the press people about why they do this, and they say, well, it's because our editors, that's the only guy he's heard of, and they want us to quote him. So no matter what he says, it will be quoted in a paper, and it will be extended in it and pulled apart to support whatever weird thing they're claiming. So, for example, there's this congressman who took that quote and said, Bruce Schneier has noted, confirmed, that Keith Alexander was selling secrets. But again, what he said is well, I don't know. Maybe that's a possibility. He didn't say he confirmed. He just said, well, I don't know. So there's another good quote about how, again, this is, Bruce Schneier on top of Bruce Lee here, that on the Heartbleed bug, is my guess it was an accident. That the NSA was, his guess is that the NSA wasn't involved. And that becomes, oops.
Oh, premature.
Well, that becomes a confirmation that experts have wondered.
I'm going to let you
Cut away.
continue in a minute.
Swallow.
Why are you so bad at computers?
Okay, gang. I've just been given the 10-minute warning. The Uber waffle's up to $150. Are you going to take that, McGrath? Are you going to take that? Uh-oh. 150, 75 for the Vegas waffle.
Here, I'll do this. Whip it out. $100. Keep it.
Woo! Thank you.
$100 and keep it?
Very nice.
Thank you.
Not for him.
The EFF thanks you.
So if I knew how to use PowerPoint, you would see the quote here, which is, experts wonder whether this vulnerability resulted from the NSA, deliberately inserted by the NSA. So it shows how he could say anything, like, this morning I got up and took a dump. And then suddenly that becomes something quoted in the news. So that's my fail talk.
Okay, excellent.
Dave needs a dongle. Dave needs a dongle.
Make sure you put the dongle where it belongs.
Oh, I know where to put the dongle. I put the dongle lots of places. I do. I put a dongle in a slot.
Keep digging, Dave.
I put a dongle in a slot more than once.
The one person confused. Never mind. I'm not going there. Too late.
I'm only slightly offended.
Are you using protection?
I never use protection. Oh, wait. I always use protection. I can't remember which one I do. Is protection where I have a roll of nickels in my pocket?
Do you know where that dongle's been?
Oh, yes.
It's my dongle.
I'm into that.
Hey, did you insert it the right way?
I set it upside down and apparently it still worked.
3 times.
So we can't fail again. Because we keep failing. So for the last 2 years, I've been playing with Justin on Hanson. And after a joke turned into Hanson actually releasing a new album, I really realized, I came to realize that this is not a joke. We shouldn't play around with forces beyond our control. Hanson might release a second album. I can't be responsible for that. I get enough people who hate me over the original album. So Rob and I came up with something different. We scanned the entire internet, and we scanned the internet a bunch. Rob wrote a high-speed